Uh, Hello? Hello? Hello! Mic is on. I didn't forget that this time. I believe we're all where we're supposed to be. Hello! Hi everyone, I hope you've been having a great week. Let me just shuffle around in my chair a little bit. Hello, I hope the music is alright. Audible but not too audible. I hope we get more story time today. I will try my best. I might have run out of stories. I shall attempt. Let's see. What am I? Is that? No, that's fine. Surely? Yes. Okay, we're fine. Just making sure the watermark isn't actually on the stream. Yeah, that's just me. Okay. Can't really hear the music. Ah, I see. Is it because I turned it down while I was listening to it in private? Yes. Let's put that up a little bit. And of course now the song is fading out, so you will not be hearing it. Hey, no, you're not late at all. We've only just started. Hello. How was my martial arts homework journey going so far? It is certainly moving at a glacial rate. I keep getting distracted by other things. I am sorry. So I've put it on the back burner a little bit, but I'm getting there. Ever so slowly. Let's see. How's that music? Question mark? Hey. My week's been pretty good. I watched the original Alien for the first time, which was a very cool experience. Giorgio and I did unfortunately talk the entire time we were watching it, which may have lessened some of the effect of the horror and the atmosphere. But it was a very fun experience, nevertheless. Music can go a bit louder? Okay, we're putting it a little bit louder then. I got tired of the old playlist. Not because the songs aren't any good, but we have been listening to them for a while, so I'm scouting around for some other options. And in the meantime, we'll be listening to some Undertale and Deltarune songs by the famous Toby Fox. Oh, actually, that reminds me, I should probably change the description if that's the case. How do I do that? Through here. I'll remember, don't worry about it. There it is. Yeah, okay, hang on, I'm typing. There we go. We need a gif of Anna's avatar doing the Fortnite default dance. Have that as a loading screen. Ooh, now I have to watch Predator? Ooh, I see. Oh, you updated the playlist. Nice. Good to know. Let's see. Ooh, in your world question, in your world building, have you worked on any of the religious aspects? Are things like animal or human sacrifice common in the earlier eras? I love religious world building. Yes, in fact, it's the part that I would say is the most fleshed out in the world. Quite a bit of it is still technically spoiler territory, but I've talked a lot about the two dual gods that are the most significant presences in the land that Tala grows up in. We have the wild god and the hunter god, who both represents at this point they represent opposites of certain elements of their world. So the hunter god represents the heavens and the sky and the sun, solar system, while the wild god represents the earth and the ground and the fire and the molten rock and all the wilderness has to offer, hence the name. And we also have a lot of scattered random spirits and creatures that are all sort of not gods per se, but they are local, I suppose, local deities. It's very common in mythology and you know, you have these small local religions. Like you'll have a spirit of the river, for example. So that's something that you'll see a lot, like a ghost of the woods, or a spirit of the plains, or like I wrote a short story that's on the Patreon that is about the mirage of the steppe, which is very much in line with that, where it's this old folk tale of what happens when children wander out into the steppe alone, which is all in line with that. I had a lot of fun with it. It's definitely the stuff that I'm worked on the most, but the actual matter of sacrifices is a little bit more vague. It's seen as something that's an unfortunate necessity should things become too dire, but it's not treated as a first resort by any means. At least not to the group that Tala is a part of, or the surrounding groups. If you head to different parts of the world, the rules become different, because of course the people are different. But that is a matter for the actual canon story, so I shall leave it at that. Doing the gritty and watching... I shall do the gritty and watch the Predator. Yes, I understand. On it, boss. Will spirits still play a part in the more modern timelines? Yeah, to a lesser degree. It's... As the world becomes more modernized and... I suppose the more metropolitan areas start becoming a lot more like a melting pot of culture, it's going to be a little bit difficult to start, well, not start, but it's going to be difficult for spirits and deities of any size to sort of remain. But in the rural areas, I think you'll always have a level of superstition that just exists because people are people no matter where you are. And if they stay in a place for a long time, and if they have any kind of heritage or cultural tradition or storied memory, that's going to then bleed through into their beliefs and their superstitions and their area mysteries, I suppose. It's also... I stopped. Local deities and spirits like kami in Japanese myth or the layers of Roman paganism. Personally, I see them as the same at their very core, even though that they take on different shapes in different religions. Simply because a lot of gods started off as smaller gods or local gods that then, for example, grew large enough to be accepted into a pantheon. What should I use as an example? If I'm remembering right, I believe that was the case for... Oh, what was it? Oh, the goddess of the hearth, Hestia. I hope it's Hestia. I'm remembering this from years and years ago. In Greek mythology, I believe, was a smaller local god that then got added into the larger pantheon. You also get much older, bigger examples of, for example, Poseidon, oh god, what's her name? Poseidon and Persephone, and Persephone's mother, Demetrius? Where they all existed in a much, much older pantheon that then got absorbed and modernized into what we understand as the classic Greek pantheon. And that's my perspective, is that they are these... You get smaller gods, you get local gods, you get kami, you get all kinds of little beliefs that can then sometimes snowball into these much bigger pantheons, or you can get them that just or they just disappear entirely, or they persevere but then change so much that they are no longer what they originally were. And that's fascinating to me. So I want to play with all that kind of like different aspects of what a god can and cannot be, and can become. A sacrifice was the most common form of worship. Some could argue it still is, with the Eucharistic of Christianity being a sacrifice or representation of the sacrifice. Fair enough. Still with the Eucharistic of Christianity being a sacrifice, or... You're not wrong. I suppose it has taken on a much more symbolic representation. You do get a lot of very common Neolithic forms of sacrifice. There's been a lot of discoveries of animal bones and burial sites containing tons and tons of animals that, you know, I believe their current explanation for it is that it was ritualistic or sacrificial in nature. And that's also something to be explored, because I hear sacrifice and I don't hear animals, I hear people. So that is kind of what my explanation was dealing with earlier. But yeah, animal sacrifices, of course. You get in at least the world of Immortal, what Tal is dealing with currently. They have these little decorational beads, feathers, strings, gatherings of, you know, it takes on a form of like basically jewelry, but I've been calling them ephemerals. And they take on a symbolic, they are symbolic sacrifices, where they're tossed into the fire in order to ask for or bargain for something from the hunter god, for example. So it's quite significant to them, and then because of that takes on that sort of similar form. But it's a much more passive way of asking, of committing a sacrifice. I don't know if that's quite right language-wise, but yeah. Maybe the spirits fuse and reincarnate in accordance to how humans view them subconsciously. Maybe. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very fun thing to talk about gods and how they exist to people, because that's very realistic, is that you have a lot of gods changing in a lot of ways over time. It's a very cool topic. Dionysus is one of those. Yes, absolutely. Ooh, how about Jinn? I don't know that much about Jinn. I understand them in a very basic way. It's very Aladdin, kind of my current understanding of Jinn. But I understand that that's not really what they are at all. There's a lot more to it. So I can't say anything about that. I don't know nearly enough. I shall have to learn at some point. Anyway, I didn't even say what we were doing today. Today, we're going to, of course, carry on with the splash art that we started last week. We've done all the rough, and I started with the line art about 20 minutes ago, just waiting to, you know, get the streams going. I almost lost track of time, which is why we started just by the skin of our teeth at 9 on the dot. But yeah, I think I'm a little optimistic. I'm hoping we'll be at least like a little bit done with the color scheme before we finish for today. And then by that point, hopefully it's enough of a polished piece that I can at least say, hey, this is it, this is done. Because I don't know if we're going to get another one of these voted in by the poll. So we shall simply have to see. Oh, forgot to mention, but I think Undertale music is copyrighted, but I'm not sure. Apparently it's not. I believe Toby Fox is quite open to people using any of the music in his games for that, well, for any sort of reason. It's under common usage. If not, this video is not monetized. So that should be fine. It was never going to make any money anyways. Which is actually something I'm hoping to take a little more advantage of as we go on, but at the same time, I don't want to screw anyone over, so it's still best to at least try and use. No, I should. My own morality, I should be using exclusively copyright-free materials. Or at least paying the rights to the music that I do use. Hi, Felicita. Thank you so much for joining. Mythology is also a way for old stories and realities can be remembered. One of my favorite is how Kronos castrated Uranus with a flint sickle. It seems to be a memory of before metalworking. That's cool. Yeah, one of my favorite stories is, I think it's of the Seven Sisters. Oh god, I say it's my favorite story, but now I'm gonna forget all the details. I believe it's the Seven Sisters, and the story goes that one of the sisters perished or died or left the other sisters, and it's apparently a sort of, what would you call it? A story representing how the Seven Sisters constellation at one point did have 7 stars and now it has 6. Which is very, very cool. It's a very old story as well, if that is the case. Something over 20,000 years or so? Very old story. Just play Mozart? I guess I could, couldn't I? Actually, that's not a bad idea. Just lean more into the classicals. Yes, because the stars were able to be seen at one time in human prehistory. Yes, that one. Have you ever seen Mesopotamian mythology? If you haven't, I can tell you that it is absolutely insane, like even crazier than ancient Egyptian mythology. I believe it. I know quite a bit about the... Oy vey. I know about the Legend of Gilgamesh and a couple of the gods referenced within that story specifically, but I don't actually know very much about it. Outside of what I learned in high school. Again, it's a bit of an oversight on my part, honestly. I tend to be a bit torn between wanting to know more about the, mythologies, obviously for research purposes, and then also getting really worried that, like, oh, but if I take all of these mythologies, what if I end up just ripping one wholesale without realizing it, which is a very stupid perspective to have, actually. I should be completely fine with with doing the research and then being able to take the stories. But, like, as much as I do the research on what is around the legends themselves, and of course I know a lot about, like, I have a lot of, half-remembered history that I can sort of, like, pick from without picking things wholesale, because I can't remember it wholesale. But at the same time, it is probably very unwise of me to do so. It's the same excuse I have for avoiding a lot of Native American mythology. Well, not mythology, I believe it's still practiced and believed in parts of the world, parts of America. Because I feel that a lot of writers tend to overuse the stories that come from Native American beliefs, and I don't really want to contribute to that, even if it's subconsciously, so I actually know very little about Native American mythology. I know, like, the basics you get from, like, pop culture. That's about it. Seven Sisters story may be closer to 100,000 years old? Yeah, you're probably right. I said over 20,000, I was trying to give a very conservative estimate. I should probably just learn more. I'd probably have more fun doing it as well. Can you tell I've been thinking about this for a while? Don't worry, you'll be the first to know if I decide either way. Let's see. So would something set after modern civilization has collapsed have story mentioning modern things? Stories mentioning modern things? Probably, but they would probably be... The language would probably be changed quite considerably in order to put, like, a car into the framework of understanding that the people of the time would know. So they would go back to like ancient language to explain what a modern concept of something is. So it's like they had horseless carriages, or they had they had horses made of metal and fire that they rode around on massive, I guess, what would asphalt be? Massive volcanic roads or something like that. It's quite cool. I've seen a little bit of like, oh, I can't use anything as an example. I cannot remember for the life of me what it was called. It was a book. It was a young adult novel that was then changed into, well, adapted into a Netflix series. And that was the main... It's not even really a spoiler to say, because they're quite upfront with it from the beginning. But it's the background of their world is a post-apocalypse. You have like all these modern settings and places, but then the creatures and people inhabiting it are like elves and gnomes and goblins and orcs and stuff, and it's quite intriguing. I really love the background of it, even if the story never quite grabbed me. So I think about that one a lot. Do what you feel is comfortable, though I feel not learning about them feels like a bigger loss to me personally. Yeah, 100%. You're not wrong. It's, like I said, I go back and forth on it. It's yeah. I see where, when I was younger, I understood that as like a benefit. Like, no, I know myself, I know that I will accident, because I did that a lot when I was younger. I would come up with a story that I thought was completely original, and then I would like look back on it like a month or two later, and I'd be like, oh shoot, this is just the plot of the thing that I watched 3 months ago. In fact, if you really squint, you'll be able to see that the entire concept of Immortal was kind of just the concept of To Your Eternity, which I also read the entire manga of a couple months before I came up with the plot. And of course, a lot of work's been put into it since then. The story is completely different. I will say that it is a very strong inspiration, but it's not the same story. But that is something that I very much did very often, which I think definitely lent to my worry that it would then bleed into my work if I did too much research. I knew a lot from when I was a kid about mythology, because I was huge on mythology when I was a kid, and I kind of trusted those memories to kind of carry me through into making fictional stories that felt real. But as I've now gotten older and my memory has gotten worse, that may not be such a good idea now. I shall simply have to see, and I shall let you know what the conclusion ends up being. Read what I said about the Epic of Gilgamesh, you'll chuckle. It's too far up, I can't see. There is nothing new under the sun, and it's normal. Yeah. But it was very disappointing. Oh god, what's another story I could tell? Yeah. I talked last week about the Vikings setting fantasy like world that I was building before Immortal. And while I did do like a lot of work into it and that, it really was just How to Train Your Dragon, but with like different animals. It was without the dragons. the feeling was different, the characters were different, it was a more realistic setting, but ultimately that was like the seed of inspiration for it. It was like, I miss How to Train Your Dragon, and I've just rewatched all the movies. I want to make something that makes me feel like I'm watching the films again. And then, you know, that's yeah. And then it's disappointing when when you look back on something and you're like, oh, well, I've seen this before, haven't I? When I was in high school, I did for your 12th year, the year before matric, because in Waldorf you have 13 years instead of 12, we did the Class 12 project, which is a very large project that you do all on your own that spans over the course of the year. And then at the very end of the year, you give a massive presentation to, you know, teachers and parents, and it's this big evening that they make out of it. And you give a speech about, like, this is what I did, this was the theory, this is the thesis, this is what I then spent all my time doing, this is what I've learned out of the experience. And it was very fun. Everyone got to pick something. So one year a kid made they went into leatherworking and they made like a whole saddle, and then you had people who went into stage makeup, and then you had people who went into the language of flowers, and like found a bunch of flowers and flattened them and like had them in their book as part of their physical aspect of their presentation. I wrote a very short fantasy book that was quite literally just Gravity Falls. It was all the serial numbers filed off, there weren't any twins, only child moves to small town in the middle of like the Seattle wilderness, well, the Seattle mountains, not Seattle, the Washington mountains, and that was the concept from top to start. I wanted it to be a little bit more creepy. I wanted it to be a little bit more haunted. There were a lot more creatures taken from folktale out of it, but that was the original inspiration for it, and that was the original idea of it. And yeah, I guess I did kind of after a while go like, well, maybe if I just never let anything inspire me, I'll be able to create something original, which of course is not what happened. But yeah, I think it's interesting. We'll see how that back and forth in my mind sort of plays out. I'm being very open and honest here. I'm being very vulnerable. Please don't be me. We're still talking about mythology. We're fine. I remember writing Lord of the Rings, but slightly different when I was way younger. Oh, nice. Yeah, I suppose it is quite a normal thing, isn't it? Just when I got older, it started being very frustrating. Oh, the main novel I'm working on is loosely inspired by Jurassic Park. I wasn't sure whether I should write it at first, but it's ended up being really different. That's good. Yeah, I mean, listen, I literally cannot sit here and say that that's a bad idea, that's bad. I would be extremely hypocritical if I said, no, you should be coming up with something completely original. Oftentimes, because you can't come up with something completely original. Like, I joke about, like, oh, it sucks, but, like, doesn't mean I'm not going to keep working on this. It doesn't mean I'm not going to keep finding joy in making my own story, even if it was inspired off of an existing work. It's a pet peeve of mine, but it's not something that's ever going to stop me, and it shouldn't be anything that stops anyone else, honestly. If it is, then I'm very sorry, and that is probably my bad for making you feel self-conscious. To be fair, Tolkien has so penetrated our culture everywhere you look, you see his fingerprints. Completely right, yeah. God, you look at like the whole high fantasy genre is basically just Tolkien's works being reinterpreted over and over again, which, I mean, a lot of people really enjoy. I feel like the Undertale music is helping inspire. Hi, Georgia. Oh my god, the music, yeah. The inspiration for my story is a RimWorld playthrough I watched. Ooh, fun! Not mine, I hope. I have always tried to be completely original and not be inspired by others, but truth is that I'm a rhapsody of all the melodies I've heard in my life. That is beautiful. There you go. We must free ourselves of Tolkien is the very next comment. Yeah! Literally every genre ever is I wrote a story that reminds me of this other story I read once. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, actually, if you... if enough people copy a story, it becomes a genre. That's quite fun, isn't it? Maybe I should make a video on that. Just like, hey, nothing's original, be yourself. But I feel like that would just be the stream condensed into... well, not condensed, stretched out over 40 minutes. That's right, it's me, Fantastic Rhapsodies. Ah, my nails. I'm fine. I did that on purpose. Anyway. Well, Inception was literally based on an old Donald Duck comic that the creators subconsciously remembered. That's cool. Lovecraft spheres spawning the term yada yada. So you're just going to do the line work today? I'm going to try and do as much as I possibly can today, but I am pretty sure it's just going to be the line art. It's kind of all that I think I'll be able to manage in the time that we have. Yeah, until I get distracted. Yeah. I just gotta be quick. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't even question how the leaflet is going to look. It's gonna look bad. We're all gonna have to just live through it. It's gonna be fine. Let me double check something. Okay, we're fine. Ah, Toby Fox's music is very pretty, isn't it? Georgia was my favorite. She's replaced Johanna. That's fine. Nah. I got you there for a second. Ha ha ha. It's okay. Georgia's allowed to be the favorite. I give permission. Sorry. Woof. Okay, Phoenix, let's not threaten the moderator. As funny as it is. Oh, I'm gonna get killed for that one. Oh, okay. What do we... Okay, yeah, 10% smoothing seems about right for this job. Giorgio is secretly Hannah, and the Hannah avatar has achieved sentience and is disconnected from the real flesh and blood Hannah. Oh, they're onto us. Honestly, where do you people, where do you guys come up with such silly ideas like that? I'm closing the stream. I shouldn't extend the leaf litter to the actual bushes. I feel like that's just going to take up so much time. I can put a little bit here and there, I think. Just to add to that feeling of environmental depth. Just a little detail here and there. But we shall not be sticking with it too much. I will say, my favorite part of these types of, like, I do really love drawing the backgrounds when it's the line art. Because it's, especially in the style, because, like, it's so fun to do, like, the little textural, like, bounces and curves and the little, like, just the little lines that are, like, open. It gives a little bit of space to it. It's just, coloring is gonna suck. We shall persevere. Sorry. It's a very beautiful song, isn't it? I'm not smart enough to. Yeah, you are. We basically share a brain cell at this point. Oh, hi! Hi, David! Thank you for popping in. Very cool to have you. Let's see. Okay, so that's the tree, but then I should actually be having a bit more of a break. So that should be like one, and then this should be another. And there'll be different shades of green, just to differentiate the foreground and the background for this guy. Ooh, you know what? Where did that come from? Did I just do that now? No, okay, that's been there a while. That's actually fine, because I want to add a little extra branch just sticking out here. Because now we have this one pointing this way, this one pointing this way, this one pointing that way. And I think that that makes a bit nicer of... it makes it a little nicer in terms of framing. Let me change the angle of that quickly. There you go. Now it's what I said it is. We will have the splash up by the end of it anyway. Yeah, no matter what. There needs to be a kids won't stop staring at their screens joke in Immortal, but it's just kids reading stone tablets. Nah! Nah! We'll have to wait to the Paleolithic for that to happen, though. We aren't getting stone tablets till then. Did I say Paleolithic? I meant Neolithic. Maybe even after the Neolithic. The first written type was cuneiform. Early cuneiform, I think, was 4,000 years old. I might be misremembering. It's been a very long time since I've looked at cuneiform. Which would be the Neolithic. Maybe. I think it's the end of the Neolithic. Oh, Jesus, never mind. I'll just never say a date ever again. If I just cannot ever be sure. Hello, I am your local writer. I know nothing about anything. Okay, yeah, so we've got the... There you go. This reminds me a little bit of a comic book. Which is the intention, so I'm not quite sure why I said that. I mean it more in the way of, I've spent my life trying to make things look like a comic book. It's very nice when it does look like one. Let's see. Is that person in the tree only wearing a rope belt? Those leaves and branches can't be comfy against the chest or belly, you know? Listen, when I was a kid, I would hide in the hedges. And it's way more comfortable than you think it is. At least when you're little, and I guess. Oh god, my grandparents' house had a really big hedge in the backyard. And then it would... Something about these streams just make me want to, like, tell life stories. Anyway, they had these, I forget, they weren't cherry tomatoes, they were like tree tomatoes. And you could make jam out of them. Anyway, so the hedge was... the plant that was used for the hedge was this tree tomato... hedge, bush, plant. So it was like decorative, but it also grew fruit. And so I would like go into the hedge for hours at a time, and I would like take it upon myself to pick every single berry in the tree. And I would hold them in my grubby little hands, and then I would run to the kitchen and I would give them to my gran. Like, hello, yes, I have done my job. I've done my duty as the child. Of the only one small enough to fit in the hedge. And then I would not eat the jam because I didn't actually like the jam. I just liked picking the fruit. Fun times. They also had an avo tree. I remember that avo tree. I would climb that avo tree because it had like branches that would like spread out and make like really nice ledges. So I would scramble up like the main trunks to the top, and I would bring like a little blanket, and then I would just like sit in the tree. Little monkey. The point was not that I was doing anything once I was there. The point was that I could go there. And that was a very fun time. Would you hide in the hedges only wearing a rope belt? Interesting, Lorna. Well, listen, I was wearing a shirt and shorts, I'm pretty sure. I was fully clothed. But, like, your arms and legs still get scratched. You just don't care. Ooh, there was a massive bush with an opening in my school playground as a kid, and it was cozy. Oh, I love those. Does that mean they're just hanging out? I think they'd like to wear clothes to at least cover that stuff. I mean, listen, they've all been swimming in the river. I mean, and they are all fairly well clothed for having been swimming in the river. I suppose I see your point. Maybe you could have a... Hang on. There we go. Just a skin over the top so that he's got a little bit of comfort there. That does mean that he's basically sunbathing in the sun on a tree. Which, hey, I mean, if that works, I'm pretty sure I've done something like that before on camp. Maybe. Not a tree, but like some sufficient ledge. I used to climb trees in high school too. There was a spot on the, like, if you joined us last week, I talked about the cliff that our school was built on the edge of. And right, like, leaning, like, growing over the edge of that cliff, was a, and Georgia can attest to this, this is not me making stuff up, there was a lovely big tree that grew over the cliff. And all throughout high school, my class and I, including Georgia, and also our homeroom teacher, I think is the term people use, she was called our guardian teacher, would just go and chill in the tree for like period, like an entire class would just be spent there. That's actually where we were when we were discussing what our class 12 project was going to be for everyone. I think so. Or it was something like that. Very fun time. Very cool place. Anyway, so we would all just like sit leaning, like if you looked down and you were in the tree, you would just see the cliff bottom. It was very fun and very cool. I want to go back to that cliff. I want to go hang in that tree again. Georgia did mention the tree last time. Ah, they beat me to it. Broke, they need some form of clothing right now. Woke, it's the Paleolithic and they're swimming, no one cared back then. That is kind of what I'm hinging a lot of the water-based scenes in the story to hopefully look like. Not that there's gonna be a lot of them, in fact I haven't planned any out per se. But like, there's gonna be a lot of arcs between when they start caring and when they stop. Well, between when they don't care and when they start caring. So, therefore... Fun! Your face is weird. What have I done? What have I done? What's wrong with you? It's your forehead. Oh, my voice. Oh, thank you, Parasol. It's very nice to hear. I worry that I fluctuate a little bit too much, but that's good to hear. The worms! My god. Everyone scatter! It's the... Oh god. This really is a sequel, isn't it? Oh, funny, funny. She finally noticed the worms return. How long have they been here? How long have I not noticed? This is just like the Weevil incident. To be honest, in my game, everyone has clothing, even though they live in a dense and hot jungle, and it's the Neolithic. I completely understand that creative decision. I have had, like, not actual arguments. I have had very intense inner monologue arguments over the realism versus the fact that I am making this for a general audience. And it's not intended to be like sexual or sexualized or anything like that, but just because of the world we live in and the society we live in, that is something that needs to be considered, and I think that that is a very valid decision to have made. It is not realistic, but it is still something that needs to be done for the sake of modesty and our modern sensibilities of modesty. I say modern like it's better, I don't know, man. It's a sensibility. Hang on. I'm not yawning, you're yawning. Aha. Okay. Oh, the leaves are actually going to kill me. They do look very pretty though, don't they? And then I can just do dappled sort of colour splotches of red and yellow. Or no, not red and yellow, because it's just regular leaf litter, so it would be more soft browns mixed with muddy greens. Because I think I'm gonna go green and blue with the colour theme. Because that's just a very nice, calm sort of like... And then maybe I'll be able to like play a little bit with dappled shadows. I think that would be very pretty. Something similar to my imp piece that I made a while ago. That was very fun. I played a lot with the post-processing for that one. That one took weeks to finish. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can go to my commissions page on the Patreon where I have it displayed. It is one of my best pieces, because it took so long. So very long. No, that wasn't advertisement, shush. Advertisement, I wouldn't know the meaning of the word. Any y'all watched Gachi Akuta recently? Very cool show. The music is getting to you. Yeah, just a little bit. Focus. Extreme, we're gonna hear Hannah scream in agony as she colors the suit. Yeah, that'll be the fun one. This is just the housework that needs to be done in between. Next week, now that's the real show. Subscribe to vote on the Patreon so you get to see me lose my mind. See, now that was an ad. Hello, small child. You have the arms of a human. Which is something that I need to specify to myself. There. Next. Oh, here we are. Next week we'll play Doom music instead of. And then I'll do the coloring, and then it'll be a much more exciting stream. That wasn't an ad, it was a teaser. Ah, yes, yes. Hominid arms. Yes. He is in fact one of those. What's the music? It is Undertale and Deltarune Soundtracks. See, that little open line, that one right there where I'm not closing it off, that's gonna come back to bite me. And I am not going to be fixing it. I'm fixing it. Actually, I could be adding more... I'll do that later, Add more depth in the shadows with black sections. Like that, yeah. In which case the light should be coming from this direction. Yes, and in that way she's covered half in light, half in dark, which means the focus is better. I don't know if the focus will be better, but it's my focus will be better. Let's see. I'm guessing we've moved on to the Deltarune music, because I do not recognize this one. By the way, Deltarune did not win the poll. And this was the last week that it could be on the poll. So, I have been informed by Giorgio that she is very disappointed, very upset with everyone involved. She was really rooting for that one. And also, I will still be playing it, just not on stream and only with Giorgio. I still have to do it. She's playing Deltarune through the soundtrack she lied in the poll. Exactly. What an incredibly unserious creature, it would never last. Tala on tree slums. She's doing the least chosen option of the poll. I'm still doing the most chosen option. It evens out. Chance of sin our time. Oh. Ooh, I'll tell you at the end of the stream. Don't worry about it. Oh, you guys shouldn't be rooting for that. Breaking Giorgio's heart. And mine. How dare you? Let's see. Deltarune is an anagram of Dune Altar. We're fucking evil. Right. Oh jeez, I didn't realize my fan base was evil. What the hell? Ooh. I shouldn't have said fan base, that felt weird. You guys, you people, group of people who support me. How dare. Ooh, another thing I watched, last night. It was last night, yes. I watched the Chainsaw Man movie, and it was the best animated thing I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible. Highly recommend to every single person here. Absolutely insane. Watch the show first. There's only one season. It's 12 episodes long. You will get through it. And then sit down and watch the best movie that you've ever seen. It is an hour and 40 minutes. It's not that long. It's a good movie length. Highly recommend. Don't call me a fan. Yeah, there you go. Little people inside your computer. Yeah, I'll stand by that one. Not your fan, bro. I'm just a channel enjoyer. You're like a cat. It's a coincidence that I'm here 24/7. I come to every stream just to torment you. Sorry, Phoenix. I have to tease. Let's see. I think we're reaching the end of the... Oh, I'm lying. We are not reaching the end of the leaf litter. Oh, oh, oh. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I love a reprieve. I think if I could ever make a soundtrack for Immortal, it would be the soundtrack that James Cameron scrapped for Avatar. And I would give it to Immortal, and it would be the best sounding thing in the world that no one's ever heard before. And then I shall finally be original. The leaf litter will consume all. It certainly feels that way. Don't even bring that. I'm so sensitive about the original soundtrack. I'm sorry. R.I.P. James Horner. I hope that's a joke and he's not really dead. I don't know. I think about that soundtrack. I've been on my little Avatar rabbit hole journey. Is this is still Toby Fox. I didn't realize. This has to be Deltarune. Yeah, Deltarune Chapter 1. Well, there you go. Maybe that one's copyrighted. Either way, it doesn't matter. Again, we're not... we are not monetized, so it should be fine. But just for my own mental safety, we're gonna skip that one. Also, it's copyrighted? Yeah, yeah. Will there be any delicious helpings of moss in this illustration? Oh boy, wait until you look down here. We're moving there, we're getting there. It's very important that there's no moss here, because you see the moss grows above the waterline. So the moss can the moss can grow over here, but it can't grow over there. It's gotta start here. We're getting there. I'm basing that knowledge. I don't know if that's the case. I'm basing it off of this picture I found. This picture I took. Where there's no moss here, but there is moss here. So, my brain says that that's something that exists as a rule and should not be ignored. Waterline. I mean, I can only assume. Ah, my lungs used to be stronger. My voice never used to strain against the halter. Ah. Hannah knows Blackpink. Why would you? Why would you? Why would you help me? Why would you help me like this? Where did that come from? I think that's the Deltarune ending song. Ah. Esteemed composer Tobias Foxtrot made a soundtrack that comes with a nice free game attached. I see. Yes, exactly. Moss does require water to grow. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, it's mostly humidity. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about moss. That's something to research for the comic. My little homemade wiki for the comic is going to be so long and so big because I am just going to, oh my god, don't take that out of context. Anyway, it's gonna be huge because I keep researching stupid little things that don't need to be researched for the sake of like making everything perfectly established and known and done. I haven't done it yet, but I'm fully intending on making a compendium of all the animals in the area that can be hunted, what they, like, how to dissect them, like, what their hoof prints look like, or, like, footprints look like, assorted photos of them, plus an illustration of what they would look like in the style. It's gonna be so much work, and it's gonna be such a waste of time, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because my brain, that's just how it works. That is my special brand of bullshit. It's gonna be fine. Okay, we can start getting rid of the leaf litter. It's starting to peter off a little bit here. There we go. Am I finally free? No. I like the vaguely menacing music. Not enough, tell me more. Hello! Hi, worm. I can't tell you more about K-pop, this will never end. Immortal will take 23 years to complete because Hannah ended up spending 3/4 of the time researching zoology and botany for full immersion. Don't threaten me with a good time. Wiki-based fandom, OMG, this is just like my favorite game, Terraria, Noita, Factorio, Anno, Sims, Oxygen not included, don't stop. Hannah will have a PhD in anthropology when she's done. I considered that for a year or so. It's just, it's so expensive to go study, and I also have, like, no time to do it. But one day, it's a long-term goal. One day I shall be, if not a PhD, at least a bachelor's in something. I would like a bachelor's in something. I would like to get some form of higher education. Just to say that I got one. Because I don't like that I don't have one. I feel like that's something I should have. Technically I don't need it because I am working full-time and I'm okay, but like, you know? One day. I save. And then I also have to like retire early and then I'll have the time for it, but it's okay. I'll get there one day. And then, I don't know, it'll probably be something, like, art would feel too boring. Art would just feel like I was doing, like, work for the sake of work. I feel like I've got a good handle on art. I want to do something I haven't, like, done before. Like, I want to do something like anthropology. And then I'll actually be able to, like, learn things, like, doing the research on your own, you don't know what you don't know. I've said this before, I'll say this again until the cows come home. You don't know what you don't know. So, if I study an actual degree in something, like anthropology, then I will know what I don't know. Do you see? One day. Takes you joke, but that is actually something I've done before. I have references for what the droppings look like of different animals. I did that for the Viking one. What careers have you considered before art? I didn't actually consider a career before art. This is the career I considered. I'm exactly where I always wanted to be. In fact, things could not possibly have worked out better. I did spend a year studying graphic design, and then I decided I really hated the whole marketing and advertising aspect of it. So I kind of went and spent a year studying concept art instead. This was after high school, where I put all of my eggs into the art basket. My chosen subjects were all arts. So I did drama, music, and of course art. And then I committed fully. And one could argue I could maybe be better. There are a lot of people much younger than me that are much more skilled than me, but for the age that I was and the skill that I was at that age, I was very happy with where I was. And I am still very happy with where I am. I found out a very long time ago it does not help to push myself in that specific way. I'm going to get better at it. I'm just going to get better at it at my own pace. And there's nothing that I can do that's going to change that, so I may as well just enjoy it while I can. In fact, it's only in the last, I think, year or two that I've really felt like my art is even good enough to work properly on Immortal. Like, you'll notice like things have been pretty slow, I will admit that. And as much as I've been working on the world of it, I feel like my artistic skills now are at the stage where they can be used to make a comic that I would be proud of years down the line. So yeah, that's my... I'm being very... Oh, that's the Undertale music, man. It's getting to me. You doubled, tripled, quadrupled down and it worked. Yes! Follow your dreams. You too can luck into a job that pays you to do art. Ooh, what happened? Like, what did you do? Listen, I lucked into it. I fully think that I lucked into it. I was in the right place at the right time, doing the right degree. Well, not degree even. I was studying a year of, beginner concept art and illustration, and I applied midway through my year for a for an illustration job because they were hiring remote contract workers. So literally right place. I was in a country where they could take advantage of the exchange rate, and then right time. I was busy studying in it's a certificate. It's not a degree. I was busy studying in a certificate that was appealing to them, and yeah, it's a smaller sort of pool of artists in South Africa as well. Like it's. Oh, are we all right? Are we all right? Okay, sorry. The stream preview was buffering for a bit. I panicked. My internet died on Tuesday, and it did not come back for about 14 hours. And it's because there's been electricity problems in this city, in the whole city. Our power was also off Sunday, like all of like Saturday night through Sunday. So if I do disappear for whatever reason, that's what happened, probably. I don't trust anything to go smoothly ever. But yeah, right place, right time. I lucked into a job that gave me experience, a job that let me hone my skills, because they weren't where I wanted them to be, but they were adequate enough for the people looking to employ an illustrator. So I got a lot of time to work on my ability while working, which I think is honestly the literal best thing that could have ever happened. I got really, really, really lucky. So yeah. You guys could be lucky too. I don't know. The problem with that is that I can't really give any great advice for it. Just study what you want to study, do what you want to do, commit to it with all of your heart, and work as hard as you can to make it a reality. And I hope that it works. And I genuinely, I believe that it should. In a perfect world, that should be all you need. Yeah. We would just know the life metagame. What the fuck do you mean? I was very good, at least from TSI. It was not my level of good. I'm happy with where it is now. But I knew I could improve. Regardless of, and do not hold it to your standard, do not hold it to any other standard. The art that I was doing that I was not happy with was because I was holding it to my standard. And if you think that that's great, then that's perfect. That's absolutely fine. In fact, you probably have a better perspective of it than I did, because I'm judging it with an eye that has seen my work forever. And I'm comparing it to everything I've ever done and everything I've ever seen that isn't my work. And sometimes for a lot of people, your work doesn't feel good to you because it's your work. And I've said this before, I think you are always better than you think you are. So I am going to just stress, it wasn't to my standard, but my standard is a very subjective standard. And it is only beholden to it's only my art that has to be beholden to it. I hope I'm using that word correctly. Anyway. Bricks for the... Oh no, what am I talking... What... I lost track of the chat. I never want to be like you. There's only one Hannah and only one Phoenix. My trail will be my own and yours will be yours, and I'll be happy to see you at the top even if we are different. That's a beautiful perspective, and I fully agree. Listening to you makes me want to do art, but I need to do medicine and cure cancer. That is a very noble goal. Godspeed. I think you can do it. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Everyone can do whatever they set their mind to. That is... It's a bit of a silly... I guess you could call it a... I believe that some people may consider this to be a bit of a childish ideal, but I do think that everyone can do whatever they want. You can do whatever you want forever, and the only thing stopping you is your level of determination and quite often the circumstances around you and your immediate world. Anyway. Georgia, I too lucked into my job and now I have responsibility. It is unfortunate when that happens. Determination! My job was also 100% luck. I sent my bare bones resume to them as a joke. I still don't know why they first hired me. I mean... Oh, joking. I see. No, but... I think a lot of it just boils down to luck. I hate to say it, but it's... The world that we are in sometimes isn't fair. And the people who do get extremely fortunate opportunities in their life often do just luck into it. I have a lot of family members who I think are in the circumstances that they are because they got incredibly lucky. And that is, yeah, it's a really sad thing to look at because you want to believe that you can control every aspect of your life. And that if you do work hard, like you want to believe you live in a meritocracy and all that. But despite that, I do still believe that you can do whatever you want. And you should be able to do whatever you want. Again, in a perfect world. I don't know. I'm confusing my points. Life is the biggest casino in the world. Yeah. Does feel it, doesn't it? Tell the dinosaurs about that. Let's see. Not enough toes. They'll say it's AI. There you go. Now no one will say it's AI. I fixed it. Oi! Life's a casino, so do yourself a favor and let it ride. Yeah. Oh no. Healthcare. People say AI can't draw hands, but have you seen how difficult they are? I can't draw hands either! Yeah. But they do it in a weird way, I will say. AI does it wrong in a way that no artist, I think, has done it wrong. Except for me. I've done it wrong in that specific way. I still remember the monkey I drew for that one video that had too many fingers. I still get people pointing it out. Oh, it's my cross to bear. I'll never live it down. Oh, it's the weekend coming up. New episode of Freerun. Yeah! You literally during the time it took me to look away a whole arm and that was a fluke. That was because I was in a good mood. The quality of the art I draw fully depends on my mood and how much I'm willing to how much I'm willing to commit to the bed. Oh god, I forgot I was doing Ivy as well. Oh god, okay. It's fine. We do an implication of Ivy without doing the Ivy. It's fine. Freerun has been so adorable this season. I know. The multi-day tantrum bit was very, very cute. In fact, I kind of want a sticker of that. Oh, bye, Giorgio. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. You shouldn't announce that you're gone. I'm gonna be all alone without a moderator. Oh, good luck. At this point, I'll be thinking you're intentionally making mistakes to get more attention. I assure you that is not the case. I assure you that is not the case. If I do something stupid and wrong, it is because I am stupid and wrong. It'll be fine, I trust none of them. Alright, lots of content to be evil. This is what I was worried about! Oh god, I'm gonna color this. Oh, I haven't done anything on any extra layers. It's fine. I'll just go over it again with the colors. It's okay. It is simply fine. You're gaslighting us. No, it's a lie. It's, I swear. I don't know anything. Oh, what's your favorite language? It's a very difficult question to answer. I guess English because I speak it the most, but then I also like Zulu because it is the local language of my area. And then I also like Japanese because I learnt some of it and I'm a weeb. But that is about it. I also like the Immortal language. Spoken by Charla 45,000 years ago in this fictional world. Because, in theory, I know that one quite well too. Ooh, something that really helps make your plant life look more realistic is if you have plants, leaves that are turned to an angle. Otherwise, it looks a little flat. Ha ha ha, pun intended. Ha 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 ha. It better be Brazilian Portuguese. It's Berlin! 少し日本語を話します。I'm sure that accent was atrocious. I have very little speaking experience because I don't know anyone who speaks the language in real life. All of my knowledge of it comes from YouTube videos and learning apps. And also anime. So, 日本語も話せるの? I think that's what this is. I'm guessing on the second kanji. I want to learn all the languages. Me too. That's a very, very good... It's a very good choice. Good goal. Hearing Japanese just had me almost fly into an ancestral rage. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Never mind then. Let's see, hang on. We use a reference. See, that's what I want that to look like. Which means we need more of like an overhang, I suppose? Yeah, there we go. We need more grass at the top there. And then we can cut the... Yeah, that's... I actually had it like that originally. Go figure. Ooh, Phoenix. 3 languages, very cool. I am very jealous of bilingual people. I think it is such a cool thing, like a cool accomplishment to have, you know, and I know it's a very common thing depending on the country you're in. You kind of have to be. I have a lot of respect because one of the advantages of being a native English speaker in South Africa is that everyone is kind of required to know a little bit of English, unless you're Afrikaans, in which case it's the other way around. But it's, yeah, utmost respect. My granddad actually is bilingual. He speaks Zulu relatively fluently because he grew up with the he grew up speaking it with you know, boys his age, and I've always admired that. I think it's incredible. In fact, I actually hugely regret not trying to learn more from him, you know? Like, actually learn the language when I was a kid. I'd know things now. Missed opportunities. Everyone spam it with your mother tongue. No, no. We should twist time so that Hannah is forced to learn the Zulu language. When I was little, I learned like the basic greetings. Sabona Njani, which I am saying with a horrid accent. Sapila. And then the words change slightly depending on like if you're the person speaking it, saying it first, or if you're responding. It's like Sapila, Yapila. And then one time when I was a teenager, I tried to say hello to someone, and I said all three of them back to back without giving them space to respond. And then they clearly knew what I'd done, and I realized what I'd done, and then they just laughed, and I was like, oh I'm never doing that again. Oh, that was so embarrassing. Oh, God. Oh. I think that killed any of my chances. Which is entirely my fault. I was just like, you know, like self-conscious teenager, like, oh, don't laugh at me, this is the worst day of my life. But it was, it'll also be on my goal one day. Wow, I'm gonna learn so many things one day. So nice to put things one day away. What would you tell little Hannah if you could? Learn more languages. Study anatomy. I know you won't want to. It's just do it anyway. Yes, I know you want to learn it on your own and not take it from a book. Shush. Study anatomy. I'm still really bad about that. I can't take instruction very well when it comes to drawing. I'm like, no, I will figure it out or I will die trying. And hey, you know, that approach kind of worked for me a little bit. Did mean it took me a very long time. It did, like I said earlier, there's a lot of people much better than me, and it's because they actually studied anatomy. Sorry. Switching to English is faster than reloading your primary language. Really? Tala no Brazil quando. No, I'm sorry. I'll learn Japanese one day. I know like a decent, like I think my vocab is something hovering around like 400 words, which isn't enough to like hold a conversation, but it's enough to like understand the sheer basics of like wandering around. Which is why, like, at some point I want to visit the country just so I can at least put some of that to use, you know? It's my grand scheme of learning the language beforehand so that otherwise it's a sunk cost fallacy. Now I have to go. I can't read that, it's all kanji. I can't read kanji. I understand watashi and that's it. I'm sorry. I'm not that good. I just said my vocab's 400 words. That's not many. That's not many. Switching to English takes the same time as reloading my primary language because English is my primary language. Ah! Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Chinese? If I'm not seeing anything else, it's probably Chinese, yeah. And if there's no... I've forgotten the names of the other two written languages. If there's no katakana or hiragana, then it's probably Chinese. I know I suck. Chinese is just Japanese kanji, oh no. Oh no. I fear my ignorance has led to a war of some sort. know what language is easy for you to speak. Cat. Ah, I see, I see, I see. Ah, Korean. I do not know any Korean. But I have heard it is one of the easiest written languages to understand. Like, it's very like, methodically made. I've also been watching a lot of, K-dramas. Specifically, Joseon period K-dramas. Hannah, stop meowing. I'm a little scared too. No, thank you. Technically, so the Chinese written language came first, and was then adopted by, because Japanese had pictograms before, but then some of them were changed and adapted, and then borrowed from Chinese. So it's a mix of a lot of, some originated from Japanese pictograms, and then some originated from, were borrowed from Chinese, and then katakana is just a whole new, like, modernized language used for English borrowed English words, I believe. I forget the actual term for it. But yeah. To say anglicized. Anglicized? Never mind. I'm just gonna give up. It's much easier if I just give up. I know a lot about a little. Or I know a little about a lot. I can half explain anything to anyone, but God forbid I have to go into any sort of detail or remember any sort of time or dates or words or names. Hannah, have you ever forgotten a word in your language but remembered it in another language? No, I'm not that experienced. I'm actually quite small-minded in the fact that I only really know English. It is very unfortunate. I do sort of apologize to all bilingual people. Well, that is bye. Polylingual, don't restrict to just two. Ah, there we go. Okay, polylingual then. Full explaining is your kryptonite? Absolutely. I was gonna suggest you draw Tala in a kimono someday, but that's just the Apothecary Diary stream again. I mean, it's not a kimono that she was in, I believe it's a different article of clothing. But it is more or less very similar shapes and concepts. Not directly one-to-one, but it is similar. In the visual design. There we go. I don't know, man. I'm just saying stuff. Nah. Can you fluently speak in the language you made up for Immortal is the real question. I haven't actually said many of the words in Immortal in, like, out loud. Like, I read them and I understand, like, how they sound in my head, but, like, I've never said them out loud before, so who knows what that's gonna be like when I eventually have to. It's gonna be worse than anything. It's gonna just sound like a garbled mess. It's gonna sound like people are gonna think the South African accent is the Immortal accent, because that's just all I'm gonna be able to do. Can't wait to learn your conlang like it's Klingon. The prime time to say it out loud. Now it's playing for the fans? Yeah. say it. Oh god, okay, hang on. Where's my... There you are. I was gonna convert everything over to my notes, but that's fine. It's easy if I just don't do that, and then I just struggle instead. Or actually, do I even have... Ah, I have the original document. Let's see if there's a simple sentence here. It's gonna sound like the Na'vi language. It's gonna sound like the Na'vi language because the Na'vi language sounds very similar to a lot of... it sounds very similar to a lot of, sort of accents of this specific area that I live in. That is to say, South Africa. I don't know, man. It's got like... They pronounce the A's very similarly. It's the, Anyway. I'm getting distracted. Okay. So here the so my name is Tala. Liatza Tala. See? I don't know how to say it. Liatza Tala Limea Litanu. Limea Litanu. I suppose it would be a very soft T, wouldn't it? Except for Tala. Tala has to be a hard T. Limea Litanu. Anyway, that's just my name is Tala. I love my clan. These are some example sentences that came in the original document that you know, Cool Clay Tony first gave me when they sent me all of this. So I still have them from the original document. Likote Taran, Kotse Imam, Beban Liaka. My brother Taran, he is quiet but has my back. Which, has my back is a... Is it a colloquialism? No, it's a metaphor. It's a saying, it's a slang. I don't know the proper term for it. Regardless. I don't know if that would actually end up being the same thing. Hi, Game Lover, thank you very much for the €2. I really, really appreciate that. You are Immortal. Oh wow, this is your 10th super on a live stream. Wow. Thank you. That's a huge honor. Wait, is that mine or theirs? The next thing is yelling it? No thank you. Do you still have that recording I sent you? Yes, I have that too. Yes, sorry, you've got multiple names. Oh man. Apparently Avatar has a huge echo with Hannah here. Listen. 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 Oh my god, wow. Thank you again. Thank you, Game Lover, as well. That is insane. Thank you very much for the €20. You are definitely immortal now. Congratulations. You cannot hide your secret. It's my 10th donor. Ah, I see. Oh, well, thank you very much, Game Lover. That made my day. I really appreciate that. Avatar rings deeper than any of Line Blood. Isn't €20 like 1,000 rands? Don't say that. Are you seriously? God, that scared me. It is about 400 rand, which is a very considerable amount. That is very kind of you. Thank you very, very much. Isn't like 1,000 rands 1 Brazilian real? I have no idea. The exchange rate scares me. All I know is the dollar is getting weaker to the rand and it scares me deeply. Like the rest of my country's celebrating, but I get paid in dollars. But that is unrelated to anything, so I shall simply not say anything. And I think we're about done with the leaf litter. How fantastic! I am thrilled with that. Hoi! Oh hey Gaha, thank you very much for popping in. Not late at all. You arrived precisely when you meant to. Sorry. Yeah, the splash shot is done. Yeah, I think we can pack up now, guys. It's fine. I did 2 people and all the leaf litter. We're fine now. Okay, let's see if we can start moving our way down a little bit quicker. Shouldn't be too hard, since after all, the benefit of this art style is that the line art can be a little bit messy if I do need to rush. A nice 350, yeah. How much rand is $1 US? At this point, I checked it earlier today, it is about 15 rand 88 cents to the dollar. And that's about it. I'm interested to see where the dollar getting weaker will change things. The global hegemony finally changing is, if nothing else, going to be interesting. It will be interesting, but it's not like we haven't been here before. I mean, we had the exact same scenario where the British pound sterling, I think, yeah, it was the pound, was no longer the standard for the world. And that's when it switched over to the dollar, because the dollar was doing extremely well at the time. America was doing extremely well at the time. So it will be interesting to see the change, if nothing else. It's a little nerve-wracking, but it is interesting. Oh, David, thank you very much. Oh, shame you don't have to let me know about that. Yeah. Thank you very much. I very much, I appreciate it very much. I've been having a lot of fun doing the commissions for you. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have the other ones polished up pretty soon as well. The dinosaur one's my favorite, for sure. Okay, now I'm gonna stop talking about it. Run through the churches, exercise all of the... What is happening? What's that about? Ooh, bookworm, very cool. That's awesome. I hope you get a lot of commissions for Conlands. That's sick. Oh, wow. Thank you, Game Lover. I look around for art streams, mainly lives, as you can give donations. You have a few artists on YouTube that doesn't have AI art 24-hour stream. Really? Oh, from Ireland. That's really cool. Is it Ireland? I hope so. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't realize... Is it really that bad, the situation? It is. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much. Command and Conquer music. Wow, I didn't realize it was that serious. AI art 24-hour streaming. That's sad. Oh, thank you, Adrian the Immortal, as well. Wow, thank you very much. you are already immortal. How well does the Patreon need to do for you to do Immortal full time? The soft goal is for it to make, oh god, with the exchange rate the way it is, last year the set goal was to make about $900 US a month, as like a rough, like soft estimate of like how much I'd need to keep doing, well, to be able to do Immortal full time, still be able to pay Vincent on time, be able to pay my, part-time editor and all that. That was the soft estimate. I'm a little worried it might be more now with the way things are. I might actually have to switch it up and start estimating things in euros, just because of the way things are now. But it's a bit of a depressing topic. Not depressing, but it feels strange to put an exact number to things, So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah. Well, thank you, Bookworm. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of people have said, the support means a lot more than, like, any monetary income or donations or anything like that. Like, honestly, just having people here, just in the moment, presently, that on its own is insane. To me. That is something that I will always be grateful for. That is far more important than anything that, like, happens on that, like, any Patreon donations or anything like that. That is incredible. I will bang that drum for as long as I can. Every time the matter comes up. Double Immortal. Oh, I'm glad you guys like the stream so much. That's warming my heart. I've really loved doing the splash art, these last two streams as well, like the splash art streams. They've been really, really fun. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Phoenix. No! We're getting too feely. It's the Undertale music. Damn you, Toby Fox. No. AI art stream doesn't even make cognitive sense to me. It doesn't even draw, it doesn't have a creative process. What are people even watching happen? I might actually go look that up later just to see what on earth that is, because I have the same question. What's the process? It's not something that takes a long time. Isn't that the whole point of it? The music with what you're saying feels so powerful. Oh no! The power of Toby Fox. Get joy baited, sucker. I, the fool, I fell for it. And all the better I am for it. Oh no! No, okay, I'm skipping. This is... I can't. Oh, the title of it is his theme? Oh no, we're done. No, I can't. Don't skip, no! I'm sorry, I have to. The feelings! Change to cyberpunk music, we're all getting too feely. It's the one! No! I'm going to silence the feels. I'm gonna... If you're not careful, I'm going to switch to doom music. Phoenix, you can't lie about that. That's sad. Despite everything, it's still you. Oh, damn it, yeah. No, that one got me. I played that game so long ago. It really did. It was really well made. Like, I played it, I think, like, way after all the hype had gone down, because I didn't have a laptop or anything to play it on when it was a big deal. So, like, I got into the fandom, like, years after it had kind of peaked. And maybe that's not right to say, because the fandom went on for a very long time. It was a very long-lived fandom. But, like, yeah, I got into it a little way later. But, yeah, even with all the hype and, like, knowing what I was kind of getting into, I was, like, hearing about it and still being like, well, you know, we'll see. It is a very well made game. I think it does really hold up. It's, but now with Deltarune, I'm a little worried that I'm not gonna play it properly. Which, as I've been told by, you know, Georgia, that's not quite the case. You can play it however, it's not as black and white as Undertale was. But still, I don't know. What's it gonna feel like when I finish it? It'll be so nostalgic, I'm sure. There's gonna be a reprieve. Toby's gonna find a way to rework the motif from his theme into it. It's gonna be sad. Ah! Your music saved me, and oh no. Do a Doom music. My casual art stream with Doom music playing in the background. Your art inspired me to be the best track writer, and now I can pay for my mom. Oh no. May I suggest Stardew Valley music for next stream? Ooh, that's a great one, yeah. Hang on, I gotta write that down. Hang on, I have a list now. Doom music. Stardew Valley. And of course, Toby Fox. In parentheses, sad face, close parentheses. There you go. I had to narrate it. It's a physical book. It's my little, it's my diary. My very professional diary that I write all my to-dos in. Did you know that I've had Talabot redraws thicker line art as a to-do on here for at least a year and a half. Oh no, not a year and a half. When did I make the Talabot? When I made the Talabot emojis, Bandry came back to me and said, "Hey, do you mind making the line art thicker for these?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll put it on my to-do list." It has been on the to-do list ever since. I'm not proud of that fact. I'm committing a crime. I am admitting that I am committing crimes. This is a crime of sloth. Toby Hawk. Can you play Cardi next stream? No. Or Blackpink? No. Ooh, let's see. Is Georgia based on George Orwell? Ooh, how do you address the Discord age verification stuff? Have you thought about using a different site? It's a difficult thing to answer. The Discord has been around for years now at this point. Like, it has been, I think, about 2 years almost. So it's been around for much longer than any of that issue. And apparently there are some changes being made to that plan with the age verification that's going to change things around. So I want to wait a little while and see what the official act is going to be. And even then, I don't know where we would go other than that. Other than Discord, and I don't really want to force people to move to something else as well if they're happy on the Discord. I feel like it's a really lovely place, a really lovely community, and I feel like that's not my prerogative to then rip people up out of that and into a new space or a new app or a new program or whatever. Like, that on its own is like, if that happened to me, if someone else tried to, like, if I was following someone on Discord and they might ask me to do that, I just wouldn't do it. I'd just be like, no thanks, actually, that sounds like a lot of work. I really hate new apps, and it's why I'm not on Blue Sky yet. I don't like change. I don't like new things. So I shall simply wait. We shall see. Have I watched Stranger Things? I have not, but I've heard so much about the last season. It sounds like it went to shit. Like, okay, no, I know. I watched up until I actually was caught up. I watched season 4. I just don't remember any of it. So, like, I was gonna rewatch it before I watched season 5, and then I heard that it was so bad that it gave me instant, like, oh, well, I'm never going back to that because I actually don't want to bother I don't want to experience that, actually. That sounds like a bad time. It's the same reason I'm never going to watch Game of Thrones. Like, I don't care how good it is up until the ending. If I know the ending is bad, it's just going to destroy any feelings I have for the rest of the show while I watch it. So, it's very sad. I wish it had been better. I really like the atmosphere of the show. I feel like even by season 4, like, they were trailing a little bit in terms of, like, narrative, and the characters were a little bit odd. The thing with, like, shows that promise a really big plan and a really big, like, finale is that I have very little patience with them. Because I love to analyze media, but I also know that a lot of media go into, like, a lot of pieces of fiction, works of fiction, go into something with a lot of promises, and very, very seldomly do they pull it off. I think in my history, of watching cinema, like, as it releases, as it comes out, the only piece of media that's ever lived up to the promises that it made to its audience was Attack on Titan. I'm not kidding. The only one. I adore Attack on Titan exclusively because the final season, for all the things that people say about it, I genuinely think it is one of the best planned, best written pieces of media that I have ever, like, had the joy of witnessing all the way through. Because I watched the first season when it was still young, well, when it was still the only season that was out. It was one of the first anime I ever watched. Life-altering kind of thing. No spoilers. Fantastic show. Highly recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it. It is very gory, it is very violent. Highly recommend that you watch it if you are mature enough and old enough to be able to handle that kind of violence. Highly recommend. Anyway. Have you seen Smiling Friends? The show's ending, which makes me so sad. Is that what the announcement was? I saw that on YouTube and oh. I've seen season 1 and I haven't seen season 2 yet. That sucks. Everything I see about it is just joyful. Like, the fandom around it is fantastic, and then the people working on it seem so very passionate. That's sad. Everything good ends. The Toby Fox music makes Hannah sound like she's giving magical exposition. Young travelers, I have for you a quest of the lands far beyond the reaches of the mere mortal realms. Before you lies a distant world, filled with magic and wonder. Now you may ask, am I truly one of those lucky enough to be chosen for a fate greater than destiny's reach? And yes, I'm here to tell you you're right. You are the main character. You can do it. Ooh, I'm on season 3 right now? Ooh. Wait, what? I'm just expecting season 5 to be air. Yeah. Stranger Things should have just been the one season. Yeah, it's apparently there just wasn't very many plans ahead of time for, like, conclusions to a lot of the intrigue that was set up, which is your first big red flag. It was the same thing with Lost, where they had, what do they call them? Mystery boxes? Where they opened up a lot of mysteries, but then at the end of it, you gotta figure out the mystery, and the mystery is never going to be satisfying if you're figuring it out at the end of the road rather than at the beginning. I feel like that is just a fact of writing. It's, no matter how good of a writer you think you are, I don't think you can put together those like, if you keep throwing out puzzle pieces without a puzzle to put them into, I feel like you are just going to end up with a really mangled puzzle by the end of it. I don't know. My opinion. Potion seller, I'm going on a quest and I need just you cannot handle the potions. I can't remember what the actual quotes are quoted. I feel like I've made these ferns a little bit too, like, bounce, like a little too like spiky, a little too straight up. I've got to give them like a little bit of droop. Oh, Stranger Things. Ah, I see. Yeah. Oh, the swoop was kind of bad. I'm sorry, Phoenix. I'm glad both have been resolved, though. The stress of the moment is awful, but as long as the problem gets resolved, then all you gotta worry about is just what happens next. Which will hopefully be nothing. The best thing a bad situation can do is resolve itself, unfortunately. This month's been a little bit of turmoil for me as well, but it's okay. I had a lot of high moments along with a lot of low moments, and at the end of the day, it was all good. Yeah, that is a lot to deal with. Good thing regarding AI, apparently the bubble will pop this year. Yeah, I hope so. If nothing else, because then RAM prices will be lower. I'll be able to upgrade. Sorry, I'm sure that was very grating. Life is a fucking mountain, yeah. With your hair, I'm surprised you can make anything that doesn't turn into fluff. Yeah. Yeah. I made this music, by the way. Well done, Phoenix. Very, very congratulations. Oh, back. Glad you're back, Tall Man. I'm sorry your internet died. I had the same thing this week. It sucks. Real bad. Especially since, oh my god, you never realize. I mean, okay, I know how dependent I am on, like, the internet and technology, but you always underestimate how much until it actually goes. And then it's like, well, I can't watch TV because that's hooked up to Netflix, and Netflix is like not. I can't use Netflix now. I can't do any online games because the online games aren't going to be online. I can't write because half of the documents I forgot to make available offline on Google Docs. So I just have to. I play RimWorld and then I just cry. But that's not too bad. What's worse is when the electricity goes out. Now that's a bad time. Should there be grass there? I feel like there shouldn't be grass there. But I've put something here. Is it just very thick moss? I imagine it must be then, huh? It doesn't quite make sense with the way I've done it here. Oh, it is just ground and then it ends. It's a bank. I remember that now. Okay. It's a bank, and then you have... So like a little bit of earth fell, it's been dry enough, just long enough for like some grass to start poking out, or maybe the clump with the grass fell down. And then of course you've got... lovely little bit of fern. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, no, that I need to do on a different layer. I need to leave the water alone until I do it on a different layer. That will save me a lifetime of pain. What's your favorite kind of moss? The green kind. There's a type of moss that very specifically grew... where was it? It was like under pine trees, or under it was in drier areas, under tall trees. Specifically, I'm remembering pine trees, but it might have been a different kind of tree. And it had like these little, it was clearly moss, and it was stuck to the ground. It was very hard ground, so I think it was just growing over the surface of it. And it had these tiny little like seed pods that were like, not seed pods, but it looked like seed pods. It was seed pods, or it was buds or something like that, and it just rose like maybe like a centimeter above the rest of it, and so you could just run your hand over it and it would just be like this whoosh of little seed pod petal pod, like flower pod things just like running over your hand. That was very fun. That was a very fun time. That's my favorite moss. No idea what it's called, but I've experienced it. Tell me what it is in the comments below. Or in the chat right now. We have electric shower heads here. I wonder if it's like that in South Africa too. Really? We have pipes. We have a pipe with a shower head attachment. I don't know what an electric looks like. Huh. Spores? Maybe. I don't know. My favorite mosses is the one with the 10 commandments. Ah, ha 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 ha. Very funny. Very well done. Very well done. The sporophage. Ah, that's cool. I think all mosses work like that. Ah, okay, so it's not a very unique kind of moss. I just got it at the right season. Season? Time? Eh. It's one of them. That's cool. You learn more every day. Thereabouts. My favorite moss is the one I allegedly planted in my parents' garden when I was younger. Ah, I see. Troublemaker. Sporophage was my nickname in middle school. Ah, yes. Oh, we've rotated back around to the song that I'm scared of. I wonder if that'll happen again before the end of the stream. Ooh. Have I watched the Nigel and Marmalade shorts? No, I haven't. They sound fun though. I don't know who either of them are. Okay, now we can start drawing moss. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, the reprieve is the copyrighted song again, yeah. My favorite moss is the one that gives you an ego tag. Ah, like the toads that you the Nigel and Marmalade stuff is hilarious. I'll have to check it out. I don't know anything about anything. The green bit of the moss is the gametified. Wow. You know a lot. Very cool. The rest of the moss is the equivalent of pollen and flowering plants. Ah, that's very cool. Oh, they buy Tom Bates on his YouTube channel. It's like Adventure Time, but more fucked up. Oh no! I see. Giving him a little... No, should I give him a little rock? Just a little one. Just a baby one. Yeah. Ah, I'm doing biology. I see. Allegedly doing biology. Oh, you do learn a thing or two. That's very cool. Ah, allegedly because I haven't frequented lessons in a while. I see, yeah. I think that still counts. That's just my opinion. I can't do it like that. That's hideous. Ew. Disgusting. See, now this is a much sadder track. I'm feeling feelings. Would Immortal be considered a Paleolithic fantasy? I suppose so, yeah. I mean, we would eventually move out of that just as time naturally marches on. But yeah, we would spend quite a lot of the beginning arcs in the Paleolithic. It's gonna take a while for us to get out of it, actually. I may have set it too far back in time. But I feel like I've managed to handle that hurdle with the arcs. More or less. It'll be up to you to say if I actually managed to do it, though. Okay. Time for the reveal. Wow, look at that. We've actually done a decent amount. Wow, look at that. You can see where all the time went. Oh god, actually, that's a bit of a problem. I'm gonna have to make sure the rest of it's as detailed. That shouldn't be a problem. I feel like the characters especially, even if they're more, like they aren't as detailed, the fact that they're there and there will be an emphasis on them will help. Especially if I use the colouring to fade the inner leaves in the pile a little bit more into them. So there's detail and texture there, but it's not overwhelming the image, if that makes sense. Can't wait for 19th century oil baron Tala. That feeling you're feeling, I think you're trying to describe as fluffy. It's gonna take a while to get out of it, actually, just like real life. I think there's plenty of things in real life that we are very much in the Stone Age of. Well, maybe that's not fair to say. It's not quite the equivalent of it, really. Empathy, for one. Social justice. Having leaders that aren't awful. I feel like all of those are pretty universal things throughout history. Which is a pretty depressing take, if I must say so myself. And now, we must quickly move on to a different topic. As a psychologist, I think I'm either a very humanities natural sciences or a very natural sciencey humanities. Ah, I see. Ah, psychologist student. I think that's still very incredible. Actually, I lied earlier. I did go through a phase where I wanted to be a psychologist. I got a textbook from a secondhand shop and everything, and then I read through it for a while and I really liked it. But then I learnt about how, like, you had to basically keep studying forever and go to, like, seminars and upkeep your knowledge and always be, I forget, but, like, always be, tested, I think, or examined, or you have to constantly prove that you are still qualified to be a psychologist. And I was like, oh, that sounds really exhausting. I think I might just do something else. Which is a pity. I am fascinated with how the human brain works and how people work. And, you know, obviously the best way to understand how people work is by working with people and doing something like psychology. And again, you never know what you don't know. But I don't think it would have given me all the answers to the universe, you know. Dun, dun, dun. Now for something completely different. I think psych is my second most read into topic, the most being ecology. Oh. Yeah, it's very cool. There's a lot of very, very intelligent people who, you know, watch these streams and my content, and I am extremely flattered by that. And deeply intimidated. It's why I try to be at least a little open about the fact that, like, hey, I'm not super highly educated. Hence the disclaimer at the beginning of every one of the long form videos. My favorite pastime, intimidating Hannah. Yeah, you do it a lot, eh? Nah. You guys are terrifying. Everyone looks around the room confused. Intelligent. I am intimidated by you having a stable financial situation. Oh, my heart. Oh, guys. Oh, no. Oh. Man, things should be better. What do I say to that? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what impresses me. My retirement plan is kind of going into the hills and finding the off-grid commune. Okay, David, I'm glad it's not that severe. Oh. Guys. No. Rudderless is fine. Rudderless just means you gotta find one. There's plenty out there. Oh, thanks, Phoenix. Me too, pie is better than pie. Yeah. Guys, we're all gonna be fine. I do hope that one way or another we will all be fine. Now kids, could you lighten up a little? I'm sorry. The Undertale music reminds me of the time I made butterscotch pie. It was pretty tasty. Nice! I made a caramel pie once. Oh, it was so good. Why didn't I make it again? It's because it needed white sugar. I never buy white sugar. I always buy brown sugar. That's the only thing stopping me. I can't, like, I'm too scared of trying to, like, caramelize brown sugar because the color rules are different. And I'm scared I'll screw it up. I'm sorry, that's, like, neither here nor there. The topic is completely different, but, sorry. I hope it doesn't seem like I'm trying to dismiss you guys' conversations. God, I miss YouTube Rewind. Okay, yeah. Aww. Aww. Thanks, Adrian. I really appreciate that. You guys are too mean. The music is too emotional. This is really just the music, isn't it? This really is just, it's just the music. Hi. Baking stream when? Oh my god, I'd love to do a baking stream. I have no clue how I would set it. First of all, you might accidentally see my face and hands, and I can't do that. That is one thing I will never do. You know too much about me already, you will never see my face. Why are you always dismissing us in conversations? I'm sorry, I apologize. That is very rude of me. No, the conversation is pie we demand. Yeah, I am gonna cry. What about it? We need one of those super chaotic baking streams. I'll try to make something really, like, scary. I'll lemon meringue pie. That's not even scary. Baked Alaska. Wait, Artie Game did that already, didn't he? Fine, I'll do something else. I'll make macarons. I tried making macarons once, like 3 years ago. It went really poorly and I panicked and cried and I turned it all into like really strangely like lumpy meringues and then I just had meringues. No, Phoenix. Oh. It's fine. I was joking along. I'm sorry. Coffee jelly. I make coffee jelly pretty well. Ever since I, bought gelatine, it really helped the process. What's something I could really try? I don't know. I have no clue how I would even attempt to do. I would have to bring Giorgio in person. And we would have to like angle the camera in a very specific way so that you can see what's happening without seeing I'd have to wear like a baklava. Isn't that a dessert? That's also a dessert. I'd have to wear like a mask. Just like my avatar's face, like on a printed onto like a piece of paper and just like strapped to the face. Well, coffee jelly is, it's just jellified coffee, and then you can often, people make it with jellified milk, and then you make both. It takes hours, because the way I do it, at least, is like tiered, so you'll have like one thing of coffee, and then you'll have one thing of milk over it, so it makes like a pretty little tiered thing, and then you can have like whipped cream on top, or like whatever you want really on top. You can have like shaved chocolate or whatever. It's a really nice thing to do if you're trying to like show off for guests. Which is why I've only ever done it once. What is this, the 50? Is a balaclava, that's the word. Baklava. It's not bad. If you don't like the texture of jelly, then it's for sure not a good thing. The person I made the coffee jelly for last time does not like the texture of jelly, so it was kind of a flop on my side. Yeah, I really like it, especially because when you prepare it, you add sugar to the coffee, obviously, because it's a dessert, and it makes it taste like really nice. I'd actually say it's a really good thing to have with like a brunch, like after a brunch. Like it's mildly sweet, it's still coffee, so you're still getting like the caffeine. That's why I'd say it's a good thing to have in the morning, not in like the afternoon or evenings. I can find a... Isn't that like a trend? You find like an old cookbook and try to make the stuff from that? There's, oh, what's his name? I know him. I follow him on on Tumblr. Not on any other website, just Tumblr. But yeah, old cookbooks, and then makes 50s era pies and desserts and food stuffs. Oh god, Hannah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Shouldn't have admitted that. Yeah. I don't know if I have the courage to do that, because then I'd have to do a lot more physical acting. I'd have to have expressions and like big hand movements and stuff like that. I don't know if I could ever do something like that in person. I can draw food. I don't think I can make it in person. Ooh, falafel, my beloved. Ooh, I could make savory stuff, yeah. I'll make a beef Wellington. A nice excuse for me to buy beef. Most expensive kind of meat. Short of seafood. God, I love seafood. I almost caved earlier this week, and we were celebrating something, and I wanted to get sushi, and I found the nearest sushi place that was doing like a 2-for-1. I looked at the prices, and it was so expensive. So I almost caved. It would have been such a terrible financial decision for like the end of the month too, but I didn't. I got Korean food. And it was very, very good. And they were also doing a 2-for-1 special, but for the dumplings, so I got like 6 dumplings. Or not even 6, I was like 8 dumplings. When usually they only make like 4 packs, 4 per. But like for the same price, you got 8. And it was so good. And it was divine. And it was amazing. And the sauce that came with it was fantastic. And now I have it in my fridge to dip all the other foods that I like into it. So it was a win-win. She should do a stream making food dishes for Immortal. Oh, that's a great idea. And, oh no, but first I have to design the food dishes. Like, I have an idea, but I need to do more research into the food of the area. Oh, that would take so long, but it would be so fun. Later. We think about it. I think about it. I will think about it. I still don't know how practically we would do that. Get a PO box already so we can send you food? Never! Did you get the Gulby? No! I'm sorry. Spare ribs. I could make sushi. I've made sushi quite a few times before. I can never get it to taste as good as the store-bought though, which is why I prefer the store-bought. Gold Sauce, you've never had sushi? It's an acquired taste, but once you've acquired it, it's like the best thing in the world. Very similar to most cheeses, which I've also become quite addicted to. I have a lovely Parmesan in the fridge that I've been like refusing to open for a week since I got it because I felt guilty about spending that much money on Parmesan. But I use so little of it when I cook. It's so worth it. It's gonna last forever. I love making up dishes. That's so cool. This is my calling. Just 3-hour stream of Hannah grilling. First I'd have to get a griller. A braai. Immortal be damned, that artist can grill. I'm contacting my extended family to force you to cook Cantonese. Maybe. Mayhaps. Maybe. Korean barbecue is saddened by the lack of galbi. I'm sorry. If it helps, I have, quite a bit of, kimchi and gochujang in my fridge right now. I really like making kimchi fried rice as, like, a quick meal. It is so tasty. And very good. And very tasty. And you have a fried egg on top with it, and then it is the best thing in the entire world. Highly recommend if you have not had it before. I've also made kimbap a couple times, but again, it's the same problem. I don't know what it is I'm doing wrong. I think it might be the way that I'm seasoning the rice. I can't get it to taste as good as shop bought. Or there's this one restaurant in all of KZN. I'm exaggerating, but there is one restaurant that serves kimbap, and that's like their whole thing, is that they serve kimbap. And they're like a block up from where I live. And their food is so good. And I cannot replicate it, no matter how hard I try. And their specialty is kimbap. It's tragic. Let me send you Immortal cheese. Oh no. Oh, good night, Gaha. Thank you very much for joining. Marita, what were you saying? Unlike you, I always loved cheese. I was eating rotten milk before I even knew what English was. I could create dishes for my novel series since most of the fauna are non-avian dinosaurs. Ah, very cool. Yeah, that's like... Is that red meat or is it... Wait, are lizards red meat? I don't know. I assume it's red meat, but I have no clue. Couldn't possibly be blue meat. Or is it white meat because birds? Tell me in the comments below! Or in the chat right now. When in doubt, just make a real good soup. It's very cool, because it's, the thing is that you're both limited by the time, right? So you don't really have, like, bread. Or, you know, but you do have wild grains. Like, that is very much something that could exist. And it's, in fact, something that could be dried and carried and, you know, it is portable. That is something Vincent told me. And it blew my mind. That they could have been having grains as, like, nomadic, like, hunter-gatherers so long before. So, like, in theory, they could maybe have bread, but would they know how to make bread? Because you would have to grind it. But at the same time, a lot of cultures have independently developed the concept of bread. So maybe I would have to do more research on it. It would be very cool if you could have, like, flatbread or, like, the equivalent of, like, those sea biscuits that, like, you know, you make for these long journeys. They're super dry. Like, it would be really cool if you could have something like that. And then, of course, there's, like, your obvious ones, where it's, like, you have your baked potatoes that you toss under, like, a couple coals on the fire, and then it, like, bakes properly, and then you peel it open and you eat the inside. Or, like, you can do that with, like, any tuber. It'd be really cool. And then, of course, there's the meat, but no salt, so you can't really preserve it that way, but you can just eat it fresh, and you can air dry it. Hardtack, sorry, thank you, not... What did I say? Sea biscuit. I had a baked potato for supper tonight. It was very tasty. Also, way too hot. It is way too hot outside to be having baked potatoes. Oh, hang on. That's fine. That's enough definition without being weird about it. No, I was right the first time. See, now that I've spent so much time on it, it is a little weird. Ooh, pemmican? Yeah, I've never had pemmican before. That would be a really good research opportunity. Oh, thank you, Og. That's very kind of you. I'm very glad to hear. Oh. Ah, I'm blushing again. Thanks, Og. And thank you very much for popping in and for hanging out. It's always appreciated. Yeah. Oi, I always forget that it's summer where you are right now. At least it's not humid in South Africa. It is so humid. South Africa is so humid. Hang on, let me look at the weather report. I need you to understand. I need you to... It's not so bad now because we have a rain prediction overnight and that always cuts down the humidity. our humidity is kind of constantly hovering around 80%. It's exclusively in the city because we are right on the coast, so we get all the salt air and the breeze and the wind, and it is humid and it is subtropical. It is just so hot and so muggy, and you can't escape it. Oh god. That's why I always complain about it. Now you see why I always complain. Technically that's correct, but I don't like how it looks. I could have it like that, and then, yeah, there we go. I forgot about the fingers and the stuff. Dun, 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 dun. Technically correct, the best kind of gray. If there is a subtropical, is there also a dom tropical? Well, wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? I wouldn't be able to live in a place like that. I can stand heat. I live in cool humidity. Or I can't stand heat. Fair enough. I don't know, man. I got taken here against my will when I was a year old. I don't have, like... If I could, I'd be living in Alaska. No, not Alaska. America. Okay, I'd be living in... Japan. Also gets very humid there, never mind. Fine. I'd go live in Ireland. Ireland's cool. To each their own, yeah. It's torture. Yeah, Hokkaido's cool. Hokkaido would be... I don't know. The problem about moving to Japan without ever having... Like, wanting to move to Japan without ever having actually stepped foot in the country before is that, like, I can say as much as I like that this is like, oh, it would be a dream, wouldn't it? But I don't know. I don't know, like, if I would adjust well there. I don't know if maybe I would have a hard time sort of communicating there. I mean, I can assume that I'd have a bit of a language barrier to get through. But, like, I don't know, maybe the people in the area that I happen to decide to move into will be, you know, maybe not as open to the idea of, like, crossing that language barrier, or being patient with me while I try to cross that barrier, or maybe they'll be really nice about it, and maybe it will be the best decision of your life. But, like, I don't know, I've never been there. Therefore, I shall simply move to the famous South African frosty mountains. Which you think I'm joking, but we do have. A couple hours inland from here we have mountains, and I've talked about them many times. And if you actually look on a map, you'll see that South Africa has a hole in it, and that is Lesotho. And Lesotho is one of the coldest places in this part of Africa. It is a very cold country. It's very high altitude. And so if you live, like, around the border, you get these cold winters. It snows every winter. You have a very nice time. It's not too hot in the summer. It's not humid. Much better time. Go to Brazil. the South African mountains, yeah. Yeah, Lesotho is its own country, which is why I said there's a hole in our map. Because that's where Lesotho is. It's its own country, independent of South Africa, and it just so happens to be placed where it is surrounded on all sides by the country of South Africa. There is history there, but I don't know it, so I'm a bad South African. Hannah broke it. Oh, I always pronounce Lesotho with the O like Oreo? Really? I guess if you've only ever, like, seen it read, or, like, if you've only ever, like, seen it written down, I mean. I would move somewhere with dry heat, but I get random nosebleeds if it's too dry in summer. Oh, yes. Yeah. It's my understanding that Japan is generally a very patient country when it comes to foreigners, which is crazy considering how hostile the government policy is to them. I have heard so many things about the people of Japan by people who are not people of Japan, and people who are people of Japan. Like, I don't know. At this point, I feel like the information and the waters are so muddied by people saying what is and isn't, that I'd much rather just go there and find out for myself, you know, even if it's not the same countrywide, to at least see if, like, the place where I go and, like, am considering maybe, like, living in or whatever is a certain way, and to see if the people are a certain way, and I don't know, try not to let secondhand opinions sort of what would you say? Not force my hand, that's the wrong expression. I suppose spoil my judgment before I even go there. Don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a book by its reviews. One day. It's another one I'll do. It's another thing that I'll do one day. I'm gonna do many things one day. I better have my schedule cleared. Hang on, I feel like I've drawn this kid very poorly. Hang on, we're doing a bit of an upheaval. I still feel like his legs are too long. I think that was something I was talking about in last week's stream as well. I definitely made his foot here too big, so we're gonna chop that down a little bit. Dun, dun, dun. I was going to say I also want to visit Spain and South Africa, but I think I would actually just like to visit the entire world the same. I wanted to go to Egypt so bad when I was younger. I still kind of do now, especially since they opened up the Egyptian oh, I've forgotten the official term for it. They've opened up that massive museum in Cairo. I just could you imagine? Adventure of a lifetime, that one. One day. If I just make his hand shorter. Oh, this is gonna upset me. Upset me. I am going to obsess over this until it upsets me. I shall simply leave it. I feel like that is the best outcome for all of us. Oh, hi, Hariska. I was in the car and had to leave. Ah, I see. Well, welcome back. You haven't missed that much. We're still sort of doing the line art, but we have accomplished quite a considerable amount. I feel like we're not gonna... Okay, yeah, no, we've got 15 minutes left, so we're not gonna finish this. But that's okay. I feel like I'll... Okay. I will put this on the poll again. Part 3, where we do the coloring and the post-processing and all the shading. And I will finish the line art in my own time. And I will get back to you with the... just the colors, and we can spend the stream just doing the colors. I don't know if it's gonna get picked again. I don't know what you guys are feeling. Sometimes people who pop in and out of the stream are the ones who also vote for it, and maybe they just don't want to see this kind of stuff again. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. Regardless of what happens, you are gonna get the finished piece on the Patreon anyway. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. I just want this to be a fun time for you guys. I feel like line art is not the most fun thing in the world, so I do apologize. Ooh, what places do you want to visit someday, just for vacation? Oh, I suppose I do want to visit Seattle one day, just because that is the place where I was born, and I feel like it would be very nostalgic, and I would like the weather. I'd probably very much like the environment and the mountains surrounding it. I really would like to go to Egypt at least once, to be able to, again, visit the museum, be able to just see the environment around that. I really want to see the fjords in Norway. I want to see a lot of places in Japan, but also a lot of places in China and South Korea. I want to travel a little bit south of that. I want to go see what... I guess New Zealand is beautiful. Yeah, I honestly, if I could get the chance to, like, that's the big ones, but if I could get the chance to, I'd love to, like, my big thing is that I love experiencing things. I love new experiences, I love finding out new things, I love exploring. So yeah, I mean, if I do get the chance to travel extensively in my life, I think that would be the best possible thing I could ever do. You know, like I want to go to Nepal, I want to see a real monastery, I want to go anywhere and everywhere, and I want to see like what a real like capital city of the world looks like. So like Tokyo and England and New York, I guess, is also a big one. But yeah, no, I'm doing it again. The music is too hopeful and emotional. New Zealand mentioned. So you're saying you want to see Appa? Yo, 100%. Why not? Huge Hannah Lord drop, she's Cascadian. Yeah, I was born in Seattle, if you don't know. Yeah, it's I guess it's not that deep lore-wise, but yeah. Oh, I want to see Stonehenge. Same. God, yeah. I want to see. I want to go to Mexico and see the like some proper Aztec ruins, and just sort of see like pieces of the history. I feel like so much of like specifically Aztec history is mythologized in a very specific way, and I'd love to be able to like see the real, like go to a real museum of the area, and like, because I mean, you go to museums in South Africa and you see things that you could never fucking learn online, because it's actually what the local like archaeologists, is what the local people have like found, and they have the stories attached to them, and they have like it's great. So I want to see if there's something similar to that in places where, you know, otherwise a lot of the culture is very like mythologized through the lens of the internet or pop culture. So I'd love to be able to like see stuff like that, you know. Again, same thing in Japan, you know, like you get a lot of mythologized ideals of like samurai and history and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to access stuff about Japan online, I will say that. But it would be very cool. All sorts of places. I want to go to a museum in every country. In the whole world. Stonehenge and the Jimmy Carter peanut statue. There we go. We need to replace the music ASAP. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. The Rome. Yeah, God. The Pantheon. All the ruins throughout Rome, like, still resting there among, like, the modern city. Like, in modern city. That would be incredible. Someone clip this whole stream. I feel so inspired. I need to see them aqueducts. Roman food preservation was neat. Ah, I need to see it. Ah, you are absolutely right. I need to know more about it. The big reservoir under Constantinople. Oh my god, Constantinople. So many places in Europe have so much history to them. So many places in the Middle East have so much history to them. Like, I want to go to Turkey and see, like, Göbekli Tepe in real life. That would be incredible. There's a lot of places around it that is as well. Like, it was the Fertile Crescent. I think. I might be mixing it up, but I want to go to the Fertile Crescent. Be able to see some of, like, the oldest structures that we've ever, like, been able to find. Wouldn't that be incredible? Ah! One day. Ooh, I always wanted to visit them old classical age ziggurats in the Middle East. Yeah! Ah. I need to become a shepherd in Wales. Wales is oddly beautiful. There's this one chap who lives in Wales who makes a bunch of YouTube shorts that I watched for a period of time. Crazy. It made it like, I've never thought of Wales as like a place that like I would want to visit before, but like I know it's an incorrect perception to have, but like I did always kind of have the idea like, oh, it's very it's basically so similar to the rest of England that there's no point. But no, it's God, beautiful. In fact, I'm surprised they don't make films or something there. It's gorgeous. Lots of castle ruins. Maybe it is what the rest of England looks like, and I just got like the most perfect view of it, of Wales. Ah, well. Go travel to ancient structures and archaeological sites and call it research for Immortal. I tried that a little bit. I went to I went to visit family, and then I went to see a very specific site on the coast, and I took a video of it. And then very few people watched it, which is fine. Mini Minuteman collaboration win. Oh, I'm far too small for Mini Minuteman to look at my channel. Wales is not part of England. I know. That's why I said it was a very awful opinion of mine to have. It's an old opinion from when I was a little bit less educated on the topic. Let's see. I've got Welsh ancestry too, so I bet I could just tap into that to become a Welsh Seer. To become a Welsh shepherd. You know what, Gambate. I believe in you. Godspeed. I think everyone should become a Welsh shepherd at one point in their life. Oh yeah, it was research. I visited these castles and stuff for research. It's a tax write-off if it's for my job. If I make a video on it... Oh my god. Oh, that wouldn't even work. It would be so much money. I visited these castles and stuff for research. It's so funny. I don't know why. They're the cheese capital of Brazil. Ah, which one? Minas Gerais? Ah, very, very cool. I hope I pronounced that even a little bit correctly. Oh, it's happy now, this song. A happy reprieve, how lovely. Before the horrors, I imagine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I will be doing this for every set of hands and feet. There we go. 3 minutes remaining. Oh no. To be faster. I have to finish the line art in 3 minutes. Oh, the music. Oh, this is the perfect one to end it on, isn't it? It's too iconic. The music is far too iconic. Let's leave the eyes a little bit less. Okay. Say something inspirational. You can do whatever you believe. You can dream as you can dream. You can dream anything if you dream enough. You can become anyone you wanna. You can do anything you wanna. You can be anything you wanna. You wanna be a tree, you go out there and you be a tree. You wanna be a shepherd in Wales, you go out there and you be a goddamn shepherd. You can be the best shepherd this world has ever seen. You want to go out there and you want to make something of yourself, you can make anything of yourself if you just dream big enough. You gotta fight. You gotta start a war to dream your dream. You can be immortal if you want to be. Be immortal. Be immortal. You can dream, you can dream. Oh my god, it ended on 12 perfectly as well. Okay. Sorry, I went very quiet there while I was working and then I just saw someone... I saw you guys say something inspirational. Okay, hang on. Let me fix the hair and then we'll close it off. I have screwed up his face and that's okay. I'll fix it later. He looks a little bit like Shaggy, but don't question that too much. Have I made his face too serious? I think I may have. He has a straight nose, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Yes, yes, I know you're yelling at me to go to bed. Ah. Ear too high? Question mark? Hair too big. He does a very shaggy hair. I will admit I have a very hard time with his hair. I'm not sure if it's because I've made it too generic or too specific, but it's something that I'm gonna definitely have to practice on. Because I do, every single panel I drew for that short comic was a bit of a struggle. Okay. I think that's a fairly good place to leave it on then, hey? Not as much as I hoped we would do in this time. I am honest. Gonna be honest about that. But the line art is one of the longest part of the process for any piece of art that I do, just because I put so much like unnecessary detail into the line art. It's my texture time, it's my my leafleter time. So I shall simply thank you all very much for being here and for hanging out. This was very, very fun once again. I'm really enjoying these streams. I think we have a very fun time talking. The music choice was both terrible and incredible. We'll be doing it again when we need to make an emotional stream. Bye, Hariska. Thank you very, very much for watching, and thank you all very, very much for hanging with me and watching me do this and vibing. And yeah, I appreciate you all very much. Please change the music stream. Yes, I will. Thank you all very, very much, and have a lovely rest of your week, and goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye.